Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2 from the playoffs of the ESL Open Cup, the Shopify ESL Open Cup. Europe number 71. The man who has been not given, but taken wrested control of this weekly tournament from Big Gabe and everyone else. The Terran sensation, and according to at least Aligulac, the #1 ranked player in the world. It is from Team Liquid, Clem. And on the other side, first known for his creative and forward builds, even younger than Clem. I believe he's 16. So European StarCraft especially, with a whole lot of younger players ready to take... Yeah, he's 16 years old. He's only 6 years older than StarCraft 2. Anyways, if you haven't felt old enough already, make sure to like and subscribe, even though you're on browser, like you boomers. Anyways, it's MaxPax, making a splash, looking like he can compete on Team Exxon, which has been merged with Storm Gaming to form a super team. So MaxPax, I think, is probably on the... It reminds me a little bit of Clem from a couple years ago, when, unfortunately, because of exterior situations, all tournaments started being held online. Clem, who had always been really great on the ladder, but had struggles in LAN tournaments, kind of found his own. He was able to put up the results that essentially everyone else knew he could. And that was a breakthrough year for him last year, essentially. And this year, MaxPax, who's been, well, not so much a player that people were looking at as should be one of the best, but definitely a player with potential, is now starting to realize that. With DreamHack, ESL, I would still put Clem as the favorite in this best of 3. But MaxPax is not just the build you know, you love, and you clickbait on YouTube. I won't name names. But instead, is Clem making multiple Reapers and microing them perfectly? Wait, Jimmy, can we... Oh, yeah, that makes sense. All right. So, already, as is customary with younger players, off to a very aggressive and micro-intensive start. Both players with the one-base double Reaper Hellion, almost a TVT build, being outdone by MaxPax, getting the Cybercore before Expo and focusing on his Adepts. Gets another Reaper. MaxPax delaying the CC. Clem kind of regretting, I'm sure, not going for the quicker CC. Might have had it done by now, of course. Another Adept out of nowhere. The Hellion targeted. We're not done. The action starts early and it don't stop. The SCV being targeted. Shades dancing around the Hellion, trying to kite, maybe get some more hits off. MaxPax dodging the hits, goes behind the Hellion. He might have enough. He kills! The SCV itself might be a threat. Oh, another Adept! Where do they keep coming from? Does he have 2 gates? No, he's doing this off of 1 gate. On Beckett Industries, a small... He's that's it. This command center is not going to happen. It's not happening. Clem has now lost 3 SCVs. MaxPax has lost 2 Adepts for 3 SCVs, 2 Hellions, 3 Reapers, and 2 Marines. MaxPax showing Clem up in terms of early game micro. Now, okay, finally we got a Cyclone out, we got a Viking. Clem will be able to finish his command center, but Clem used to being the player who's able to get up in your face, poke and prod and annoy you into making a mistake and just taking little leads here and there. MaxPax not allowing that initiative to happen. And now you might be like, well, that Cyclone should be able to kill the Stalker. No! Breaks the lock with the Prism and forces the Viking to tuck its grounded tail between its legs, go through the Speedula, and back off. We're not done yet. Microing through the speed zone. Wait, where did the... Okay, so the fact that that didn't get picked up with a Warp Prism should tell Clem that the Warp Prism is not there. He immediately heads back. Of course, triple Dark Templar already on the way. The Cyclone Cyclone's forced to retreat. A Raven halfway done. The next stage has begun, even before really the first one ended. Oh, looking for the kill on the clone. The awkward part here is while he can scan, he's gonna have a Raven. The DTs themselves are actually a formidable fighting force. They do a lot of damage. He has to scan a second time, gets out with the DT. 9 SCVs. MaxPax, all gas, no brakes, but still plenty of minerals as well. Raven comes out, he gets double digits in the SCVs. And meanwhile, the third Nexus. MaxPax has covered his Nexus perfectly. The best defense is a good offense. And with Blink halfway done, another Prism, mostly for micro potential, I assume. MaxPax now has an 18 worker lead, an additional base, and enough gateways. 3 gateways is a thin amount of production. But if you're keeping up consistent warp-ins with Blink and a Prism, it might be enough. This is a dangerous attack. Between the clones, a couple Vikings, the Vikings are actually quite good on the ground against just Stalkers. The Stalker's looking for the Raven, trying to get a target. The Micro on both sides drops a turret. If he gets the Raven, scans will be forced out by the potential DT warp-ins. Shield Battery Overcharge is also something that MaxPax has in his pocket. A Probe is scouting for the other attack angle, which is obviously the largest threat. Cyclones, Micro back, Vikings still on the ground. MaxPax with the aggressive defense. The tank, though, changes the game. Forces him back. Charge is on the way. Still sitting on 3 gates is MaxPax. Clem doesn't have that much production himself, just now getting his 3rd barracks up. The Blink Stalkers have been enough to zone out the Frenchman. And for now, a bit of an ambitious Blink forward. Through the Speedulas, a lot of damage gets a Stalker. Colossus on the way, relying on reliable tech. Things like just gateway units or Storm are things that Clem knows how to counter. Colossi have kind of come back into popularity because of how counterable, I guess, that those things are. The more micro you have, the worse it is to just go gateway units. Or the more micro the Terran has, the harder it is to go gateway units or right into Storm. Colossi, while maybe not the most potential damage, they're a known quantity. A Viking tried to snipe the Prism, but the Stalkers already anticipated that. Blinked into position and took one out, badly bruised another. MaxPax maintaining a confident and dominant position in Game 1. Looking to fight again. Looking for the Raven! He's going deep for it! He loses a couple Stalkers. He's only lost 6 Stalkers so far, like 4 of them there. Oh, that was a lot of Stalkers to lose, but the Raven is a huge part of negating a Colossus-based army. Interference Matrix or anti-armor missile, both. Very helpful. Viking driving back a Prism. Blink Stalkers around the back. Snipes 1 tank. Gets a second. Charge done. Clem microing back. Stutter stepping. Reinforcements have arrived. The upgrade's about to finish for Clem. Already +1 attack done. Guardian Shield. Single sentry more than enough. And with these 2 Colossi, they don't have extended thermal lands, but with no tanks, without Vikings, they can step up and burn down the Marines. Clem scrambling for damage. This is a desperation drop that MaxPax has already anticipated, scouted, and should be ready to shut down. I don't know if he immediately warps in a handful of Stalkers, enough to get Clem to turn around with a sad 1 medevac. The Marines already need to be healed inside. It's 4 bases to 2. Doubling the supply. Not the supply, the bases, rather. MaxPax not content to sit back, and why would you be? Don't let a Terran outmaneuver you. Instead, deny the 3rd, and maybe, if Clem sticks his neck out, well, the French should know all about getting their heads chopped off. +2, +1 on the way. That's for MaxPax. Only the +1 armor for Clem right now. Clem trying to snipe. Not finding it. Stalker barely gets out with his life. Looked for the prison, but almost found death. Stalker waiting for it. Clem is in. There's no light at the end of this tunnel. He doesn't even have a third command. Does he have to pull the boys? He's kind of waiting for MaxPax. He has to just hope MaxPax makes a mistake. MaxPax is at 66 probes, so that's not a huge economy, but it's enough. He knows, like, he's not going to make the mistake of overdoing it. Clem coming down the ramp through a speedula. MaxPax tests the waters. A little warm for his taste, or cold. I don't know which one would be more appropriate. Pick one. Lukewarm. Just like he likes his coffee. Typical Protoss. Why does the Protoss have coffee? Don't ask. Disruptor's on the way. +2 attack about to finish. The upgrades are even for the next few moments if Clem's able to pick a fight. Extended Thermal Lance is not researched. That is one thing missing here from MaxPax. With 3 Colossi and without their... Well, 4 Colossi without range. 4 Colossi, no matter how much range. They could be melee range, and that would still be pretty intimidating for someone with no Vikings. 2-3 Vikings. Unfortunately, the makings of disaster being warped into the main. The charge slots. But remember that Marine drop? Clem did. All the warpins were used in the main. The probes are being targeted. A few Marines, reinforcements helping out. MaxPax dives into the natural. Clem snipes a few probes, handles the prism. This is still quite an army here. Blink Stalkers trying to maneuver. It's a bit of a mess. He's dropping Marines and they're drawing Colossus fire. I don't know if Clem's noticed that the Colossi don't have extended thermal lance. I would imagine so. And that is a lot of Marauders. With that many Marauders, there is a potential for Clem to just straight up engage. Disruptors on the field. Clem's trying to pick a fight as best he can. Thermal Lance starts for MaxPax. He finally realizes, this seems a little bit uncomfortable. I'm getting a little too close here. The Disruptor Ball speeds through the Speedula, as one would in this scenario. The Charge Lots box out the Bio Army, and Clem's hopes are dashed upon the Purification Nova. Game 1 goes to MaxPax. A strong effort. He just kept control of the game from the start. Between the continued rally of adepts, the aggressive expansions, MaxPax, maybe he got a little ahead of himself a couple times, but it's better to be able to see where the army is, pull back, and mount a defense, than just sit in your base and wait for him to hit you. So there you go. MaxPax showing you why he's a contender. The Danish player from Denmark. That's how you say that, right? Yes. The Danish player from Denmark. From the beautiful country of Europe. I don't think Clem, that was kind of a weird early game. Beckett Industries is, oh my, MaxPax. You guys remember the MaxPax build? Well, guess who's not going to let you forget? Just because he can play a macro game doesn't mean he will. That is a suspicious probe. There's no such thing as an unsuspicious probe. But that probe came in from such a weird angle. He has to have seen that. The probe going side. Come on. Okay. He's gonna get to the, what do you do, though? It's in a nasty position. What do you pull SCVs? The SCV scout will let him know what he, I assume, already suspects. The SCV scout will find a severe lack of gateway in the main. So that means command center on the high ground. The thing is, the reason this build is sometimes deadly is because many greedy-ass Terrans I say that with love. No. They won't SCV scout because they're trying to min-max the build so perfectly, and then suddenly, like, they wait until a Reaper or something. But here, Clem SCV scouted. Unfortunately, MaxPax took one of his gases. I don't know if that severely hampers Clem's plans, because a lot of the time when you're stuck on one base, you want to go heavy on the tech, because it's a little bit more mineral light. But MaxPax, doing the MaxPax build, apparently it took MaxPax to figure out, like, you don't actually even need units in your main. Just build them in his base. You might not have Warp Gate yet, but you can pretend like you do. And here we are. Couple Marines. That gives away the fact it's not a Reaper, by the way. So there is no concern of a Reaper jumping into the main, because you don't have 2 Marines that quick if you also built a Reaper. Oh. MaxPax looking for likely a starport. Don't just go for a third. Oh, he's looking for a factory in the main. He's not sure where the factory is. And no reason not to be careful about it. He's got scout of Clem's base. Yeah, he's scared of a factory or a starport or something out here that is doesn't have his best intentions in mind. Or best intentions? That's not the word. Maybe it is. All right. You got the idea. It's going to be very mean and murder all his probes. There. In case that wasn't... You didn't get where I was going. Interest. Interest, yes. I went straight to the Blues Clues level of commentary, though. Gotta appeal to everyone. This here is a Marine. It dies to Adepts until it has friends and upgrades. Some might say it still dies to Adepts. Those people are Terrans. We don't like them. They're not fun to play with. Well, the gate gonna get shut down. Phoenixes are definitely a unit. MaxPax has 0 gateways in his main. He's now building his first one. So, he's going with Mech Protoss right now. That is certainly a choice. It's going to be Robo Stargate. Now, the problem here is that, well, the Phoenixes are definitely a kicker. There's Photon, there's Shield Battery Overcharge. The Shield Battery Overcharge timing is everything. It's everything. What are we seeing here? There's an Adept on the other side. It has 0 kills. It's almost dead. Clem's actually backing off. Was that a Selecto Army hack here, or is that intentional? He's looking to catch the Adept. He's not confident he can break through a shield battery. Oh, the Adept slips away. Unfortunately, the only things that are going to get caught are Marines. As they retreat, MaxPax uses the opportunity to slap down a third base. Pretty solid timing for it. Whereas Clem, Stim, completed. He's got 2 medevacs. There's a long way until Colossi are out in context. Like, it doesn't take too long to build, but Clem's already halfway across the map with a medevac and with Stim Marines. There's no splash damage nor a shield battery at the third. It's just now building. This is a very dangerous attack. Oh, it looks like 1 Phoenix. 2 Phoenixes taken out. Pretty big mistake from the Danish Protoss. Oh my god! Oh my god! So much just... He blocked the Cyclone in with a perfect force field, and Clem reacted almost instantaneously to pick it up out of the impossible force field. Oh, I am too old. That's what I get from this game. I'm too old for this game. Alright, I just talk about it. Oh my god. Wow. Meanwhile, the Adept lived, and it's back. For now. Then it died. But I can't believe, like, that exchange was ridiculous. Eventually, Clem gets shut down somehow, but he did get the third nexus rather canceled. But speaking of third bases, Clem gets his third CC delayed as well. Down goes the observer. Meanwhile, a single Colossus. That is not much army, but beautiful force fields. Clem picks up yet again. Drops behind him. Still, though, delaying the command center is MaxPax, but he himself doesn't really have that much going. No extended thermal lance. He is upgrading it, but that means he has to get well within tank range to hit the bio. This is happening. They're out of energy to lift the SCV, awkwardly enough, those Phoenixes. Clem's gonna do a... He's got Phoenixes on both sides of the map. Clem jams himself in a pretty nasty tank positioning that, especially until Thermal Lance is done, it's going to be incredibly hard. Oh, that was an unforced error. I think MaxPax hotkeyed all his Phoenixes together, and that means he now has 2 less Phoenixes. It is a stressful scenario here. Clem knocking on the door. 13 seconds on Thermal Lance. Charge is a long way off, so are any upgrades. He does have so many upgrades on the way, he's confident he will eventually hold this. Clem backs off. I'm actually quite... Maybe he's looking for another angle, almost certainly. I'm kind of surprised to see him. I think he's overestimating. He's respecting MaxPax, which he's worthy of respect. But Clem did have a pretty nice position. He wants to deny the 4, which is not entrenched. No shield batteries. He can move into position here. He's going to jam the tanks on the high ground. Cyclone, that survived all of this. The tanks move in. He knocks down the Phoenixes that pick him up. Puts them right back down. The Colossi going to work. Force fields, not sure they help Clem more or MaxPax. The base itself under attack. The tanks moving up. 4 tanks in the back. Charge. 10 seconds out. Those 10 seconds could be a year. No cancel. The Viking count is high enough to drive back the Colossi and the Phoenixes. The probe's vulnerable, as they're now long distance running, and Clem showing why he's such a difficult player to deal with. It doesn't have to be flashy micro, just strong decision making. Instead of continuing the push, like it seemed like was good, instead rotates around, knocks out the 4th, and maintains a high enough army in order to maybe just win the game. He's up 60 supply. He's got a 4th CC on the way. He doesn't need 2-2. He immediately picks up, goes for the drop in the main. The Phoenixes and Colossi get cut off by the Vikings. There's almost no gateway units. The upgrades are done, but there's not much to benefit from them. The Bio Army with enough Marauders in front. The Charge Lots have to walk up the old-fashioned way. Picks up, gets right back out. Those Charge Lots gonna run right back down. The Colossi tripping over each other, while the Vikings hit them at will. The tank's in a pretty nasty position. Well, the tank, he actually lost a couple tanks. Never mind. That one tank isn't that scary. Clem biting off a little more than he could chew, but outmaneuvering MaxPax. It doesn't matter too much whether or not Clem wins on this fight, because MaxPax now without... Oh my god! Yeah, you're like, well, it doesn't look like 80 more supply. Yeah, it does. It does now. Meanwhile, during all of that, Clem built this. Here comes the hammer. The original army that still has plenty of medevacs might have been enough. An army twice its size, with Vikings and tanks in support, means GG. Clem ties it up. Not having any of it. Clem choosing exactly the right timing to get the damage done. MaxPax struggling to put enough together. So, game 3 it is. That probe is, that probe. He's built, so far MaxPax has been 2 out of 2 for a very early aggression. Game 1, back at Industries, while he didn't proxy a gate, the rush distance is so short that, it's almost like proxying a gate on another map. It's only 1 or 2 adept shades. I think it's less than 2 adept shades to get across with the speed yellows. MaxPax, in order to potentially knock out Clem from what is effectively his tournament, will lean again on the MaxPax build. The fallback, for better or worse. He came around with the probe to make it look good. He's really selling it. Last game, it looked really suspicious. No, though Clem's SCV scouting anyways. He walked around and came in from the normal angle with the probe. I'm sure Clem is intensely suspicious. I mean, MaxPax is definitely a player you SCV scout. Okay, he's not a Neeb. Neeb almost aggressively standard, though as time goes on, he mixes it up more and more. But so Clem gets into the main. There's no gateway there. Where could it be? Here we go. A Zealot valiantly charges forth, unfortunately stopped by essentially the oldest defense mechanism in the history of civilization. A wall. So we'll have to rely on more advanced technologies in order to continue his efforts. MaxPax not willing to fall back on an expansion. Oh, Clem. Clem just kind of fighting. He knows it's going to be a battery. He's already doing some... Pulling a few SCVs might be the... He's at 4? Oh, this isn't working. Clem is, not one to make. He can't... It really does feel like a case of, oh no, I have to actually play... Like, he won game 1, and then... Well, there's a Stargate. The SCV does scout the Stargate, including the Void Ray producing. Oof. The Stalker helps a bit. Like, the probe's still alive. That's super important. There's another probe chasing an SCV here, which is just making sure it has an escort. Clem hasn't finished this off yet. Oh, a Cyclone is a big issue here. Even with the Void Ray showing up. Oh, a bit greedy to go for the far shield battery here. Clem actually locked onto the finished battery, which means that both batteries will live in a bit of an awkward turn of events. All it takes is one mistake against a build like this, and things can spiral out of control. Yeah, the battery count is starting to get higher. He charges up the Void Ray, cancels it at the last second to try to maintain the soft lock on that Void Rays have. He's killed one shield battery. Clem is supply blocked right now. The supply depot itself, he's going to be even more supply blocked. Clem, that one moment of greed may have turned the tide as the Void Rays continue production. It's going to be Proxy Tempest, which is kind of the progression of this. There's no going home and macroing now. A gateway on the way. Warp gate being produced. That will be 2 gates. No mag field accelerator for Clem, aka the Cyclone lock-on damage. It doubles the damage of the lock-ons, but it is quite a long upgrade. And it's not free, believe it or not. A few things are. So, the Cyclone locks are used. They don't kill the shield battery. Is he going to lock on again? Because if all the locks, he just used 3 locks. Which, it has a short cooldown, but it does have a cooldown. Which leaves a time when potentially MaxPax could do some damage. Right now, he's kind of zoning for Tempests as the dance continues. Both these players, some of the fastest in the entire game. The quickest reaction times. The most aggressive strategies and the most intense micro. The Vikings and Cyclones, but the Tempest changes the whole equation. Clem will be forced to respect. He's building a lot of Vikings here. Starting to work through, trying to minimize damage because he needs that shield battery energy. The SCVs move into repair, immediately Stalkers get locked down when they try to punish. A lot of damage being dealt, trying to target down the Void Rays. A tank! The shield batteries are nearly out of energy. There is a backup pylon, a tasteless pylon to back this up. Clem now has floated his expansion. Meanwhile, the Void Rays charge up. They're going for one of the tanks. They target it, but will it cost him both Void Rays? Indeed it does. That should be enough to target down the Tempest. There's no energy on the batteries! How many times have we seen that be the issue? At least a couple, not too many. Like, this build is a little rare. Another Tempest shows up, but 2 is exponentially better than 1 in this scenario. The shield battery's low on energy, besides the one that just showed up a little bit too late to the party. Tempest still sniping. Clem isn't out of the woods yet, though he started chopping down some significant trees. A tank is once again going to put a clock on the shield batteries. The Vikings do so much damage with each volley. They can be repaired, and the Tempest can be re-shielded. So, but cannot be repaired, which seems like a major design flaw in Protoss technology. The Viking count isn't quite high enough to one-shot these Tempests. Of course, there's the range issue as well. Gets a Viking. Another scan. He's just maintained. It's putting a clock on everything. He doesn't want to re-shield his own batteries. He needs that energy for the Tempest. This is quickly getting away. Oh, a single Adept. It finds the hidden base. MaxPax now long-distance mining as Clem's SCV shows up. The Cyclones and tanks still working on the batteries. He will commit a shield battery to buying time. The Viking count now at 8. The Danes should know to respect the Vikings. Here, the Tempest. He needs more. The Viking count is growing obviously faster than the Tempest count. But if Clem can be contained for long enough, it's a delicate balance. Oh, the ramp! The ramp! He misses! He missed the force field! Oh no! And that means the Marines and everything else come down. Maybe the Vikings on their own were manageable, but everybody, the whole neighborhood is not. And Clem confidently steps down and claims what should be a victory. Unfazed by game 1, MaxPax will fall in the next 2. And that means Clem will be the victor in this best of 3. MaxPax, so close, but yet, so far. Clem's not going to let you make a mistake like that. And there it is. 2-1 is the final tally. 2-1 is where it will end. Congratulations to Clem. A good fight by MaxPax, but not this time. If you enjoyed this ESL Pro Tour match, be sure to like, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment. Why is Protoss so imba? That's the question all Terrans are asking. But congratulations, Clem. Thank you for watching the ESL Pro Tour. Good luck, have fun. Stay tuned.